starting off with Whitehaven Coal, ASX WHC, currently at $7.88. Scott, I saw Whitehaven have abandoned plans for driverless trucks after their labour shortages eased. Apparently, they're also considering the need for conveyor belts, thinking they could just use more labour to form a human daisy chain and pass coal along the line. We'll see how that plays out. But is Whitehaven Coal a buy or a sell for you?
You're saying there's a chance. I don't want to be the bloke at the end shoveling into the furnace, by the way. I'll let someone else do that. Maybe I'll be in the middle somewhere I can kind of shirk off behind a tree.
There's a hierarchy along the line as you go. It's
That's fair. Yeah, you don't want to be breaking the rocks or throwing it in the furnace. Somewhere in between.
Exactly.
Is nice.
Yeah. Right in the middle.
Yeah. Look, despite all of that, Whitehaven for me is a sell. Now, here's why. It is really, 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 really cheap. If you believe that coal prices remain high, and if you believe the company is going to be able to give out as much of that cash, that profitability as it can to shareholders to make money along the way. The problem I've got is Whitehaven continues to reinvest in its business. Now, ordinarily that's great, but think about the changes that may be wrought policy-wise, I should say, by climate change. Now, I'm a full card-carrying member of the Climate Change Coalition. The scientists are right, the doubters are wrong. I'm happy to say that unequivocally. But even if you don't agree with that, even if you think the whole thing's a hoax, and good luck to you if you do, the reality is that governments are going to make decisions. Consumers are going to make decisions on the basis of what they believe is the clear and present danger. Now, if and when they do that, if and when coal becomes a stranded asset, the question is, what has Whitehaven done to make sure you as a shareholder get money out? Anything times zero is still zero, right? So if you get a double, then a double, then a double, then zero, you still go back to zero. My real concern is if Whitehaven continues to say, we're a coal company, we're reinvesting in coal, it's all we're going to do, eventually it just runs out of customers, runs out of business, runs out of money, and the shareholders are left with, in theory, a share of a stranded asset. Now, maybe that doesn't happen, and maybe I'm entirely wrong, and that's fine. This is not a promise the shares are going to go down. I'm not saying short Whitehaven Coal. I'm simply saying the fundamental reality of the way the business is structured is unless it's going to either pay out $1 squillion in dividends to shareholders, and it might, in which case I'd be wrong and they should jump in, or unless it's going to go into a different business, somehow diversify or find something else to do. If you are stuck with a stranded coal asset, you're stuck with a stranded coal asset. For me, I don't want to take that risk until I know what the capital management, in other words, the plans the company's got for its cash, what is it going to do with all that money? If it's staying in coal, I've got a problem. If it's paying it out or getting you a new business, then I'm interested. But for right now, if I own those shares because of that risk, I would sell them.
I mean, could we find another use for coal? Could we start building things out of coal rather than just burning it?
I think if we give,
maybe
we
could we build houses out of coal?
Let's go. Take it into Parliament. I just take. But people got pet rocks, pet lumps of coal. It could be.
There we go. See
a couple of goggly eyes on them, and you're away.
All right, sticking with mining, we're going to look at Pilbara Minerals, ASX PLS, currently $3.83. Another one we've had a few other times on the show. All three have been a buy. Scott, where are you on Pilbara Minerals?
I am a sell on Pilbara Minerals. I am a sell. And again, I'm talking structurally here, long term. Everyone says, hey, you know what? Electric vehicles are going to be massive. And if electric vehicles are massive, then therefore batteries are going to be massive. If batteries are massive, then lithium is going to be massive. And if lithium is going to be massive, I should buy Pilbara Minerals, right? That's a really, really easy line of thinking to make. I did some numbers about 5 or so years ago on oil during the 20th century. Now, super back of the envelope. I'm no statistician. The price of oil after inflation went up about 2.5 times in the 20th century, over 100 years, up 2.5 times, despite the fact the volume of oil pumped and used went up exponentially. In fact, literally more than that, because it started at zero at the beginning of the century using whale oil and whatever else. By the end of it, we're doing millions of barrels a day and everything's going nuts. Yet, despite that, the price of oil only went up about 2.5 times. Why? Because every time demand went up, supply went up to match it. We found bigger, better, cheaper ways of getting it out of the ground. We discovered more of it. We got it to the market in a more efficient way. Volume growth is not enough as an investor to justify an investment. Now, maybe Pilbara is wonderful. Maybe lithium's fantastic. Maybe the price stays sky high. But you know what? There is a lot of lithium being identified. A lot of it is being developed. Some of it is being commercialized already. As and when it does, again, I'm a long-term investor, right? Maybe the price doubles in the next 12 months for all I know. But long-term, my bet is twofold. Either volume increase, supply increases to match demand, in which case prices don't move, or potentially, don't forget, we think lithium ion is the only thing. Now, I'm old enough, mate, to remember when nickel cadmium batteries, the old NiCad batteries, where the technology du jour, right?
Yeah.
So now it's lithium ion. In 5 years' time, what is it? Is it lithium ion still? Maybe. Is it solid state? Is it something sulfide? I think is being talked about. Who knows what the technology is going to be? So you've got to be right about the the trend of EVs. You got to be
Yeah,
right
yeah.
about batteries. You got to be right about the battery chemistry, and
Mm.
then you have to be right about the fact that demand will outstrip supply on an ongoing basis. Now, look at the price of oil or iron or gold or anything else. These things roughly track the cost of production, not some sort of astronomical margin on top of that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't buy Pilbara if I own the shares. Again, look, maybe it's a lottery ticket. Maybe it goes really, really well, or
Yep.
maybe it goes really badly. If you don't know, you shouldn't. That's not an investment. That's a speculation. If you're
Yeah.
investing, you shouldn't own Pilbara Minerals, in my view.